I've been watching you for so very long, trying to build my nerve up to be so strong. I really wanna meet you, but I'm kinda scared. You're the kind of baby with so much class. Y'all know that song, right? But that's not what I want to talk about. Because y'all already know what happened to my boys, too. Lord have mercy. I don't even want to go there. But I was thinking about them, got me to thinking about a lot of my other fellow entertainers. And not just from nowadays, but entertainers black of the past, you know? And the poor, pathetic endings that most of them have, whether it's Jackie Wilson, Cab Calloway, Sammy Davis. I mean, most of them die broke. And that seems to be the mantra with black artists. They die broke. Now, I understand that. Well, I do know that I think Judy Garland had some financial issues, but there's no way in the world I can see Michael Jackson being cash poor and Britney Spears, who experienced just as much crazy meltdown, uh, even a worse meltdown. I mean, and she still has her finances. But I think somebody did also inform me that her finances was given over to her father. So, I need to research that some and, just see how that goes. But, it, you know, what really bothered me was Sammy Davis Jr. Because he was an entertainer's entertainer. And I just wanted to share this with you guys because I want y'all to think about this, especially in light of this next video that I'm going to do regarding Birdman and Rick Ross and Lil Wayne and just the spirit to be jealous and to be greedy and selfish. And I don't know all the tangibles about that. So, but I'm going to come back later with a video about that, hopefully. But let me just share this with y'all real quick about our beloved Sammy Davis Jr. Beloved former Rat Pack member Sammy Davis Jr. died broke, in debt to the IRS, and left his estate in such shambles that it still isn't straightened out. According to the Deconstructing Sammy, due next month from Amistad HarperCollins by journalist Matt Burback, Davis didn't have to die. After a cancer diagnosis in August of 1989, doctors recommended surgery on his throat and offered an 80% chance of survival. He opted instead for radiation, which had a slim 30% survival rate. Now, Davis made his decision based on his dismal finances. And if he couldn't sing, he reasoned he couldn't make any money. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, family. We really gonna get into this. Welcome, 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 welcome to this mental house. I am your host. This is a really good article, and I want you guys to hear this because a lot of y'all chasing dreams, and I know what that feels like. It's two things, it's two words: show and business, right? If it be like my case, you'll know a lot about show and you don't know about business, and you'll live to pay for it. But with that being said, let me finish this. Following Sammy's divorce from May Britt in 1968, Davis was pressured into marrying a black woman. So he wed Altavice Gore in 1970 and pressured her into participating in wild sex parties. Wow. Among the many men that Altarese befriended was former Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld, whom Davis met in the 1970s when Rumsfeld worked for the Nixon administration. Rumsfeld remained friendly with Altarese after the legendary singer's death, even to the point of calling her when she was living in poverty in Pennsylvania in 1993. Altarese Davis, the wife of Sammy Davis, was living in poverty after her husband died. When Sammy's good friend and longtime conductor George Rose died in 1985, he asked another good friend, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, to give the eulogy. Jackson agreed. I want y'all to listen. Jackson agreed, and he demanded $5,000 in cash, 4 first-class plane tickets, and 2 suites at the Four Seasons Hotel. Let me tell you this again. When Sammy's good friend and longtime conductor George Rose died in 1985, y'all remember the conductor, he asked another good friend, so he thought, Reverend Jesse Jackson, to give the eulogy for this man. Jackson agreed before price. He demanded $5,000 in cash, 4 first-class plane tickets, and 2 suites at the Four Seasons Hotel. Davis, who was broke, turned to bodyguard Brian Dello, who took an advance off his credit card to pay Jackson's fee. See, y'all want to know why I don't have any respect. See, the chickens come home to roost. What's done in the dark is going to come to the light. Truth pressed to the earth will rise. So all of y'all out there doing dirt, and you're not coming clean with it, you're just going to come out. And this is the kind of stuff right here that just really shows you the character of a person. Despite more than $50 million in lifetime earnings, Davis died in 1990, some $15 million in debt, owing more than half to the IRS for investments in bogus tax shelters. Now, I think that's a really pretty messed up story, and it just brings me I don't know who was handling. I know for a long time, Sammy was carrying his dad, a real Massey trio, and his uncle, and because he was the breadwinner, and his mom, he was the breadwinner. Sammy couldn't read, but he could dance and he could speak all those languages. It was a long time. I think he was well into his 20s, or early 30s when he learned how to read. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I'm trying to say is, when you look at, even when these little labels get subsidiaries from the parent company, like LaFace and Arista, and then what happened to LaFace, what happened to Tony Braxton, not once but twice, and TLC, they get these bum deals they sign into. My thing is, you expect that a lot when you're dealing with the enemy, or somebody that is known to take advantage of you, somebody who has a history of taking advantage of you. But when you look at your own people, and then they do it too, and then there's no one looking out for you because they've adopted the same mindset and I call them Black Anglo-Saxons. And when they develop the same mindset where they don't want to share and don't want to allow other people that look like them to come up the condition, come up, it's like crabs in a barrel. And so I don't know the tangibles to what's going on with you know, Rick Ross and Birdman, but all I know is it's not good that all these people are saying that Birdman stole from them, and because he's such a brilliant person to be able to put all this together. I mean, these brothers are not stupid, but the fact that they, in my opinion, are letting greed and jealousy and um, just not being their brother's keeper allow them to put themselves in a position where they become extremely selfish and they don't want to share anymore, and they don't want, that is worse to me than when the other people do it. Because if you can't trust yourself, it's almost like I look in the mirror and I can't even trust myself. No, yes, not. So I know that a lot of y'all aspiring rappers and singers and artists, I would encourage you to please learn about the business before you even think about show. Put it like this first: business show, business show. Not don't go into show business. Go into business show, and you might have a career with longevity. Because then you'll see talent is not really all that it's cracked up to be. It is what you know and how much you know. Because if you don't know too much, people are going to be taking extreme advantage of you. That I can guarantee you. I just know that Cash Money Records. I mean, come on, Juvenile, Hot Boys, BG, Mano Fresh, Tiger, Turk, DJ Khaled. I mean, Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, Drake, and the list is going on and on now. And Lil Wayne is still complaining that he is not being paid. That is so sad coming from came from, and to hear another black man have to make um, a comment about that. That's I mean, he telling you the truth. I mean, but to hear him have to get into somebody that he once idolized you, and now he's seeing he's not respecting how you're doing business. Y'all are so much more brighter than that. I mean, I'm not saying anything for the man that releases his heart. I'm just saying that for Cash Money in general and all the people that are on that label, I hate to see it go down um, as a cesspool of greed, you know, and not the great record label that came out of NOLA. That's all. That's just really my wish. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Lastly, y'all, I had to make this comment about Snoop Dogg in the video. I had to do this because it's real important. Somebody asked me my opinion. I'm getting ready to give it to you right now. While I do believe that artists should be given freedom of expression, and I think that only goes so far, like with anything. Uh, and I just think that, in my opinion, Snoop went a little far when he used the gun, especially with the gunplay stuff. You know, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. So, in my opinion, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. So now somebody got to come on and do something about this perception of freedom that's gone mad. And I still say it. Somebody got to do something about it. There's a perception of freedom that has gone mad. Because Steve Harvey, and it's not that I'm a Steve Harvey fan, but when he said that, y'all going into uncharted waters now. And y'all got money. Okay, now, I don't care about the money aspect of it, whether you got money or not. To me, that's not the issue. The issue is, we're not supposed to be threatening the highest office. We're not supposed to be threatening the office of the United States, the president, because he still is our leader. And for anybody to do that, that's just ignorant. And I'm saying it because I thought you was more intelligent than that. And I'm speaking to this little Bow Wow who said the most insulting thing to the man. Do you know that you can be arrested? You talking about taking that man's wife and turning her, pimping her out? I mean, that is so. You guys don't even know, obviously, because if somebody came and they showed up at your door, federal marshals, and arrested you and charged you with treason, and they stuffed your butt and gave you a 50-year sentence, then you would say Black Lives Matter, and you'd be looking for somebody to come out and help you when you really set that shit up in motion in the first place. I don't agree with what Trump has done. Matter of fact, I don't even agree with none of the craziness. But the fact I'm trying to remain is, I mean, the fact still remains is, you remember when they were threatening Obama? They went to jail. Okay, people went to jail for threatening Obama. Granted, they might have called Michelle names, and I couldn't see you doing that. But to go so far as to talk about the first lady, you talking about you would put her out and pimp her, that's all that stuff is not funny. And you have to respect the office of the president. Whether you like it or not, you still live in America and you are an American. And you have to act as such. You live in this country and you are reaping benefits from this country. And you should know more than anybody else because you done traveled the world. And you done seen what poverty looked like. And you've seen what it all looks like. So don't act like living in America doesn't have its perks and its props. Don't do that. Because now you're gonna sit down the wrath on other people because of the words maybe that you say. That's just my opinion. You might set the wrath in motion for other people by the words that come out of your mouth. And you have to keep thinking about that. So telling that man that you want to send his wife out to be pimped out, all that kind of stuff, that's gone too far. You know, and it's a felony, remember, to threaten the president. So you have to remember that stuff and be wise and pick your battles. Don't do that one. You better start looking at, instead of getting all emotional about this other stuff, you need to be looking at some of these cuts and stuff that, and the stuff that he's proposing. I think maybe your voice might be better suited to speak on that. So, but that means you're gonna have to do some reading and some research. And now you're gonna see that's where your voice is really needed. When you look at the tax cuts, when you look how he's gonna stop this earned income credit, when you look at some of the things that the Trump administration is proposing, I think that will be a lot more beneficial to black people as opposed to you talking about putting Melania out on the stroll. You know, making her straight for the stroll. So, you know, with that being said, I'm getting ready to go. And remember, Jesse Jackson charged Sammy Davis Jr. He demanded a sick man give him $5,000 in cash and 4 first-class tickets to suites at the 4, and he knew he was broke. All right, Jesse. I done heard just about enough craziness from you, and that's why the people don't respect you or Al Sharpton. All right, listen. I'm gonna go. I'm on my horse today. If you like what you hear, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time in the mental house. Bye-bye.